So these are my the bulk of my bulbs that spring flowering bulbs that I'll be planting out this year. It's 18th of May now, which is very late to be planting bulbs. The reason they are late, honestly, is because I'm cheap. What do we got? Tulips, lilies, daffodils, lilies. I actually don't remember ordering lilies, so that's interesting. And you can see when we buy them late, they have already sprouted, which is not ideal, but it's fine. They obviously have existing energy in the bulb, and they're not too bothered about being moved at this point or planted in this state. I feel firm. Yeah, so our bulbs start to be marketed as early as Christmas, which is sort of coming into our midsummer, and they, particularly when you're buying them in some quantities, they're pretty pricey when you buy them at that time. We've been planting bulbs now for 7 years here, and one thing I've learned is that if you're going to buy them in quantities like we do, and this is really a very small batch compared to previous years, you want to be getting bulbs at the best available price, and as the season progresses the price will come down, and you really have to hold your nerve, because right now, so we're 18th of May, and by this time bulbs really should be in the ground, but they are still, or some of them at least, are still available, and you're getting them as of yesterday at an 80% discount. These ones, which I ordered 2 weeks ago, I got at a 70% discount. Now the risk is, of course, is that if you leave them to this late in the season, you'll miss out on the ones that you really want. So my tip is, when you're buying bulbs in quantities like this, at the beginning of the season, do go in and buy the bulbs that you really have your heart set on, or that you think are likely to be in better quality at the beginning of the season relative to the end. But for things like daffodils and jonquils and various mixes, wait until the end of the season. And by way of example, at the beginning of the season for a daffodil or a jonquil bulb, and certainly for a tulip, you might sort of expect to pay around that sort of $2 mark per bulb. These ones, certainly the daffodils, I purchased them at 40 cents a bulb. So when you're buying them in 25 or 50 packs, that just makes it far more economical. The other thing to note is you can get what are called, here at least, planting stock bulbs, which are ones that are quite a bit smaller. So they're ones that have obviously recently separated or divided in the ground. They're dug up and they're sold as planting stock. You can see they're noticeably smaller. They often sell these planting stock bulbs in packs of like 100, sometimes even 200. They're quite a bit cheaper, and they indicate to you that they may not flower in the first year, maybe not even in the second year, but it's really in that second, third and subsequent years that you can expect to realize the flowering potential of those bulbs, and you bought them at a phase where they're just much cheaper. So I have done that I've done that in years past. I haven't done it this year, but that's a good option too. So in terms of what we've got here, there's 50 daffodils, 55, 60 daffodils. What's up, Chuck? They look nice. Another 4 daffodils. So it's about 70. Looks like it's about 70. Don't eat that. And some freesias and some sparaxis. So that's my job today. All the tulips are going into Leo's bed, and maybe some of the daffs, and maybe the sparaxis too. The rest I think will go down the front. I'll let Mark choose what he wants out of them. He often likes to go and plant somewhere where he thinks they're needed, and he takes great pleasure in the fact that I don't know where they are. See? He's like a little squirrel up there, secretly planting his bulbs. Better not let him catch me. But we know.
These are bulbs.
Yeah.
We have a mixture of jonquil and daffodil bulbs.
Is that all there is? Jonquil, daffodil?
I think it's just jonquil and daffodils.
There's some lilies in there, isn't there? Black.
Oh, there may be. I know it's not tulips.
Okay. Yeah, no, there's no tulips left. I put those all in Leo's garden.
Daffodils.
Oh, maybe it's just different types of
I think
daffodils.
it's just daffodils.
Yeah, okay. How many have we got?
There's 33 bulbs in there. Some are double, but I did not count them as 2.
Okay.
Okay. That's 1 bulb.
Yeah.
33.
So show me that one. That would be, I think, what they would, at the start of the season, they would count that smaller bulb as planting stock and sell you that. Yeah, like that. Much smaller.
But there's definitely a couple that are double.
Which is good. So buying them at the end of the season.
Some are
At,
sprouting.
oh yeah, it's quite a lot.
Oh,
They've
they are
divided up.
different.
Yeah, right.
So we have 33 bulbs.
Okay, so we're just going to do it, we've mixed them all up, and we're just going to do a mix in various holes that we've got down in this front garden. So there's 2 to the right of the path and 1 to the left of the bridge, pretty much. And then yeah, okay. So what are we doing? 6 bulbs in each.
Yes, that's what we're going to do.
Allocate randomly, you say?
3,
Bulb Easter bunny messing around, plopping. How cute.
6.
Good job. Down here in Leo's garden. Mostly today working on putting those bulbs into his bed, but also adding a few bulbs to either side of this new path. These are just some lambs here that I've relocated from that section, which didn't really work. And I have a few more to transplant. I put bulbs all the way down this left-hand side, and in the process of so doing, I've seen other bulbs that are coming up in here now. I think these are grape hyacinth, or muscari, and I reckon as well there are early cheer jonquils on the other side of those, because I've topped up the soil a bit now, but I could see them sort of just poking their head through. So there's bulbs all through this section, and we have this existing sort of flower garden here with various things. Let's see bulbs coming up here. Brendan, if you're watching, these are the bulbs that you and I planted a few years back, a good few years now. They're sort of all coming up. Around the base of this damson tree. So Leo's bed's now received all of those bulbs that I wanted to put in, mostly tulips. It was mostly up in that right hand corner there, and a few freesias and spiraxis and smaller things to where I could reach into the bed without causing too much disturbance. This path makes a huge difference in terms of being able to work in this garden and sort of spend time in here, particularly as the weather warms up and you're a little bit cautious about slithery sticks in the grass. So I've decided to continue already with the path that will extend around, sort of joins here, will extend around and basically just do a loop around this section. So we'll keep going here and then join up there, and indeed I'll do it out the gate. So it will just give a nice sort of walkway around the whole of Leo's garden and access to all of the various beds that will end up being sort of more firmly established in here over time. So it's quite good, I think. I'm happy with this, and I'll just do the same thing with the path. I've got lots of tree limbs that I've specifically kept, and with the intention of doing something with them. I've used 2 here, which are dug in already, to stabilize this fence a little bit and stop the sheep pushing on it. But what I'm going to do is create a bed in there. I think I said this in the last video. I think I'm going to put dahlias in there, or some kind of summer flower, maybe sunflowers, maybe cosmos, maybe a combination. And once the spring flowers are done in there, then I will scatter some sort of annual seeds, even if it is just something like a sweet alyssum or something like that. And then I'm not sure what will go in there. Maybe dahlias and sunflowers as well. This has been our garlic bed for the last few years, but I didn't want to put garlic in there again this year. And then down the middle, I don't know whether I would just leave that as a walkway so I can get between the two. Probably I should. Yeah, you can see there's more lambsy down here, which I need to maybe come out, take that out and maybe take it up to behind the pond.